Welcome back, you beautiful people, to another Steam Deck video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about offline mode on the Steam Deck and whether it's good enough or not. And now, if you don't know, Steam Deck, when it loses internet connection, it can be a little bit of a janky mess in terms of just not being able to play your games. Now, that hasn't been something people have had to worry about on Steam before, because most PC gamers are always connected to the internet. I mean, you need to be, right, to access Steam in the first place. As they've released their own handheld console now, there's a lot of issues cropping up in terms of like DRM, obviously, and having to be connected at all times. And we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to specifically read an article from somebody on XDA developers, Paul Richard Devine, and give you his take on the situation. But before we get into it, please smash like, hit the subscribe, and click the bell icon. And oh my god, guys, you need to click the subscribe and click the bell icon, because I'm going to be posting a tutorial and a video talking about dual booting on the SteamOS. I've actually installed Windows on my Steam Deck, and it runs amazingly well. At first it was a little bit rocky, but once I got used to it and got a few things set up, it was amazing. So please like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you get notified of when that video drops, because I'm going to be doing a lot of Windows on Steam Deck content and how to enjoy Windows on the Steam Deck without really having to risk your SteamOS installation on the internal SSD. So subscribe if you want to see more of that. Also, while you're at it, guys, please consider following me on Twitter as well, because I'll be posting little sneak peeks of my Windows on Steam Deck experience like right here. So go follow me, link down in the first comment and the description to come follow me on Twitter and get a sneak peek into my Windows adventures on the Steam Deck. Anyways, guys, let's get into it. I'm Blaze2K. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day, by the way. It is Monday, but let's get into it. Here we are on XDA developers. I love this site for like phones. When I get a new phone, I love to go to XDA developers, check their forum, and like geek out with a bunch of people try to fight over getting the best battery stats and all that good stuff. I know I'm a tech nerd. I can't help it. Anyways, the one Steam Deck feature that Valve still needs to get right. It's been a pretty wild year for the Steam Deck, and it has. It's been crazy, and more people are getting their hands on it than ever before. It's selling like hotcakes right now. From the moment it went on pre-order, it was obvious it would be a success. Even now, despite recent accelerations in production, Valve still hasn't fulfilled all the pre-orders for its handheld PC. But we covered that in the previous video, remember? They're going to be having all reservations fulfilled by the end of the year, so we'll potentially be able to buy a Steam Deck off of a store shelf, hopefully in 2023, maybe even Amazon.com. Go check out my video on that, because it's really interesting. Anyways, despite being on the large side, the hardware is fantastic. It is. I've been truly amazed by how much performance you can get from what's basically a handheld games console. Playing Marvel's Spider-Man on the go has similar graphics and performance to its initial PS4 launch, but well, anywhere never gets old. A big part of the experience is the software, though. Valve has managed to turn SteamOS into something easy to use on this type of device, and those who care know that it's Linux underneath, but those who don't never need to know. And SteamOS has come a long way, even in its short life of the Steam Deck to date, but there's still one key feature it just doesn't hit the mark on, and that is offline mode, something that's pretty essential for a portable games console. Offline mode still isn't good enough, and I can totally agree with that. I mean, they're still trying to wrangle with the fact that it's not an actual gaming PC, and you are going to be taking it on the go to places that don't have an internet connection. I mean, it is a portable handheld console, Valve, after all right? Let's maybe contact the developers, let's try and work out the DRM, and just try and make this the best portable console it can be, because we're not always going to have an internet connection. But hey, you never know. They might, you can't always tether it to your phone's internet or your cellular data if you need to. I mean, certainly, but not everyone has a great tethered a personal hotspot plan on their mobile plan. But yeah, I mean, that's something you can do. Maybe they can release a 4G 5G edition, or a little attachment we can attach to the back of it for mobile internet connectivity. Simply put, offline mode is necessary because without a data connection, your Steam Deck cannot ping the servers as and when it needs to. Obviously, multiplayer is out, but it has implications for simply being able to play any game. Traditionally, Steam hasn't needed to worry about not having a data connection since, well, PC gamers quite often have one, of course. Recently, Valve has tried to address the issue with updates to SteamOS, but it just hasn't nailed it, at least not yet. My own experience so far has largely entailed connecting my Steam Deck to a hotspot from my phone just to get around the offline mode being a pain, but I've not tried it in a while. But a segment on a recent Linux Gamecast episode mentioned that it's still not good, and lo and behold, that seems to be the case. The issue isn't that it just doesn't work, because it does. It doesn't work very well. In my own experience, even when enabling offline mode can be a chore, resulting in a mixed understanding of if it's even on. Unless you remember to turn on offline mode manually while you're still connected to data, it can just forget. And as such, I'll try and connect to the servers even though there's no data connection, and launching a game will take an age. It usually works in the end, but I've lost count of the times I've given up and put the Steam Deck down because I just can't be bothered with this. An underappreciated but important feature. The whole purpose of a handheld games console is that you can take it anywhere. Issues such as battery life can be addressed with outside help, but issues such as offline mode's distinct jankiness cannot, and it's putting a real dampener on the experience, frankly. Maybe we've been spoiled by the fact that Nintendo Switch doesn't suffer such issues, but the Switch is also the gold standard. Unless a game actually needs a data connection, it's just not an issue, as it shouldn't be. Workarounds aren't the user experience we need, and I guarantee that on my next trip I'll forget to turn on offline mode, and I'll probably end up hotspotting my phone again just to make sure everything works swiftly. The Steam Deck is so good already, and Valve should be commended on the speed at which work has continued on SteamOS through 2022, and clearly the company knows that offline mode isn't good enough, but the most recent fixes don't seem to have done enough. I really hope that as the last batches of pre-orders start to arrive, this feature finally gets what it needs. So offline mode isn't something I've really dabbled with myself, because I'll be honest guys, I'm a shut-in, I'm a hermit, I don't go many places these days, especially since having 2 kids, but I can totally get his point here. Now, the Nintendo Switch, bless its heart, alright, bless its heart, they tried. This thing, you can take this anywhere without really having to worry about being connected to the internet. The only exception to that rule is the fact, if you have maybe 2 Nintendo Switches, you can only set one as your primary console. The secondary console, if you're wanting to access your game library, on the secondary console, you will have to connect to the internet to make sure that it's still allowed to access the primary library. So you do need an internet connection on the Switch if you use 2 consoles and one of them's your secondary. But Nintendo definitely do it great. I never worry about when I'm going out with my Nintendo Switch, I never worry about whether I'll need an internet connection, because I'll know all my games work on it, unless the exception to that being is if I want to play some multiplayer games like Splatoon or something like that. But yeah, offline mode is definitely something they can definitely improve on the Steam Deck. I'm not wrangling with it. I know it's new for Steam and Valve, a new issue for them to have to solve, because obviously PC gamers for decades have always pretty much had an internet connection at their beck and call, right? Because you need to, you can't just have a gaming desktop tower without internet. It just ain't going, it ain't flying. Unless you're maybe into game emulation, in which case it's not a big deal. But yeah, there we go. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with Richard Devine at the XDA developers. I'll put a link to the article down below. Let me know if offline mode on your Steam Deck has been an issue for you. And if it's something you want them to improve on. And if there's anything else on the Steam Deck you want them to improve, please let me know down below in the comments. Now, this isn't a breaking news Steam Deck video. I just wanted to get this out there and ask people's opinion, because it's something I don't have too much experience with, and I'd love to hear the feedback from the Steam Deck community on your take for offline mode, DRM, stuff like that on the Steam Deck. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful day. I am Blaze2K. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon, because I will be ramping up more Steam Deck content. Like I said, talking about Windows on the Steam Deck, the games, the stuff you could do, how to install it without messing with the SSD in the Steam Deck. I've got a lot more coming down the line. Anyways, guys, please subscribe for that, and please click the bell icon, and have yourself a wonderful Monday. Anyways, see you in the next one, guys. Take care.